In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. I hope you've been following along with us through Colossians. Remember I said, to me, Colossians is probably the most concise description of the gospel that we have. And so, if you've been following along, you're seeing that salvation is so much more than just trying hard to be good, to please God. And if you're good enough, then you can go to heaven when you die. That is not the gospel. So, the kind of things we're talking about, if you're saved, you've been lifted out of this domain of darkness and put in the kingdom of God's dear Son. You're in the kingdom of God right now if you're a believing believer. And yesterday, we saw that you've been made complete in Jesus. You aren't at all who you were before. You've been made into now who God intended you to be before the foundation of the world and before Adam did his piece of stupid that threw everything into turmoil. Oh, Jesus came to restore things, and that restoration is yours if you believe on Jesus. Just as you receive Christ by faith, you walk with him by faith. And the world doesn't do that. So don't let the world take you captive. Don't fall into the world's basic principles, the world's philosophies, because it's all deception. The world is under the power of the liar. And so the promises of the world aren't promises at all. They're lies that deceive you away from God. Well, today I want to look at two more things that happen at salvation that aren't often talked about, but it's critical that we meditate on these and we see the power that happens within us as part of this salvation. I'm in Colossians chapter 2, and verses 11 and 12 say this: In Jesus you were also circumcised with a circumcision made without hands, in the removal of the body of the flesh by the circumcision of Christ. Well, circumcision is a big deal with God. We saw that because the children of Israel, that was the mark that they were the chosen people of God. Well, that's still the mark of the chosen people of God, but it's not a physical circumcision anymore. It's a circumcision of the heart, where the flesh is cut away. Remember, John recorded how Jesus said, don't be surprised that I'm saying you must be born again, born of the Spirit, because believing believers are spirit beings, not flesh beings. And the flesh has been circumcised away. That was the mark physically for the children of Israel, and that is the mark spiritually for each of us believing believers even today. And now verse 12, having been buried with him in baptism, you die to yourself. I am crucified with Christ, Galatians 2:20. You've got to see your agendas, your personal dreams in this world. You need to let go of all of them so that you can embrace and be raised again to Jesus. See, that's what it says, in which you were also raised up with Jesus. Are you listening? Through faith in the workings of God who raised Jesus from the dead. Do you believe that God raised Jesus from the dead? Well, you have to. That's part of salvation. God is amazing, and he's amazing for you. Oh my goodness. He has raised you up with Christ and seated you in heavenly places right along with him. That's what it says in Ephesians. And so salvation is about being brand new, flesh gone, raised up, seated in heavenly places. It is so much more glorious and so much more powerful than anything like trying to be good enough to please God. God bless you, believing believers who walk in the power of the love of God. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll look at what, without a doubt, is the most concise description of what happened on the cross to set us free to walk with God in the glory of His love. I can't wait to talk with you about that tomorrow. I'll see you then.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus.